Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, that is Science Unlocked, and today we will going to continue with our topic that we were doing previously, that is the organ system. And which organ system are we going to do today? We will be doing the respiratory system. Now the very basic thing about this particular system is that we should be knowing which particular organ are responsible, or you can say are involved in this particular system. Then only we will be able to understand the whole process and everything which is related with this particular system. So the very first thing is that it consists of the nose, nostrils, nasal passage or the nasal cavity, windpipe which is made up of pharynx and larynx majorly, and then some part of trachea as well. Next is the bronchi, then we have lungs, and then diaphragm. So what are these particular organs? Nose is basically the sensory organ which helps in the process of breathing, the air we inhale and the air we exhale. Apart from that, it is responsible for the sensing of smell as well, that we are able to identify this thing and find out this thing, that what kind of a material is right in front of us with the help of smelling sense. Now, the nostrils are basically the openings of this particular organ, that is nose, because of which the passage is created. Now, nasal passage or nasal cavity is basically the space inside the nose region, means the cavity which is available over there. Now, the next thing is windpipe. Now, over here as you can see, there is this pharynx region. Then we have the larynx region, which is also known as the voice box, because this is responsible for creating the voice that we are able to speak. So it is because of the larynx only, that means our voice box or sound box. So these two parts are majorly making up the windpipe. On the other hand, some part of trachea as well is the part of windpipe. Now the next thing is bronchi, which is actually the division of the trachea. As you can see over here that the trachea is actually splitting into two. So why it is splitting? Because it has to move to the right and left lung in the body. So what happens is, for that particular process it divides. So we have given it another name, that is bronchi. Then we have the major part, that is the lungs, and then the diaphragm, which is the floor of the chest cavity over here. Now let's get inside this particular system a little more. So the very first thing that we are aware about over here is that lungs are the main organ which will be responsible for the process of respiration. Now you must be thinking that initially we were talking about the concept of breathing, and now the system that we are learning is actually the respiratory system. So how are they different and how are they similar? So let me tell you, the two processes are different from each other, but they are interrelated, means they are connected with each other. And what is their connection? The connection is the air that is taken up by the process of breathing, that is the inhalation. That particular air or oxygen is utilized by the body for ultimately making the energy out of the food that we have eaten. That means the oxidation of food. Here what is happening over here? That oxygen that we are inhaling will be utilized by the body so that it can convert the food that we have eaten into the usable energy format. So this particular conversion of food to energy is specifically known as respiration, but the whole process and the whole system is more or less named with the particular system, that is the respiratory system. So I hope this thing, that now you can actually understand that what exactly is the difference between them. They are not the same processes. Breathing is basically simply inhalation and exhalation of air, whereas the respiration is basically breathing plus the process of oxidation of food, so that we can get energy out of it. So there is a big difference between the two. Okay, so let's get into the parts in detail. So the very first thing is that the lungs. Now why are we working on lungs in detail? because these are the main site where the process of this particular exchange will going to takes place, where the oxygen that we are inhaling will be utilized for the body. So for that it is to be exchanged with the body. So that process will going to takes place inside the lung cavity. That is why first of all we are looking into the concept of lungs. So what it is? Now the lungs are basically two in number and they are soft and spongy with the bags with having millions of air passages inside it. Now as you can see over here that these are basically consisting of multiple balloon like structures. So these balloon like structures are basically the main site which will going to actually behave as the exchange site. As I was telling you that we will going to utilize the oxygen that we have inhaled and we will going to use that for the conversion of food to energy. So for that particular exchange, the site required is this particular balloon like site, and this particular site is surrounded by the blood vessels because of which the exchange is possible. Now what is the next thing? That is, it is connected with the rib cage, that is our skeletal system. We have discussed this thing in skeletal system as well, that the rib cage is going to be the protective part of the skeletal system which will going to protect lungs, and these particular organs are the breathing organs where the exchange of gases will going to takes place. Now there will be a basic diaphragm which will going to actually help in keeping the lungs in their place, because they are hanging with the help of the bronchi and trachea, so it needs a support. So that support will be given by the diaphragm. Now if we talk about the whole process, then in this case the breathing in process is involved and breathing out process is involved. While breathing in, we will going to inhale oxygen as the major component in case of air, and when we are talking about the breathing out process, that is exhalation process, at that time we will going to see that carbon dioxide will be moving out of the body. Now this particular whole process is actually helping in the exchange of body with the reference of pure blood. So what exactly happens, that the oxygen that we are taking in and the oxygen that we are, the carbon dioxide that we are moving out, that whole process will going to be done inside the lungs first and then by the whole body, that we are aware of. So let's see into this thing, that what exactly is the path that we are going to see in terms of inhalation and exhalation. Means what is the passage which the air will going to follow. So it is very easy with reference to the diagram of the body, that or the system you can say, that is the respiratory system. And one another important key point is that inhalation and exhalation are completely opposite in terms of the passage. Means if inhalation is going A to Z, exhalation will be Z to A, means completely reverse direction. So you can see it over here. In inhalation it will be starting from the nostrils, then the nasal passage, then windpipe, and then the bronchi, and then the lungs. Whereas if we talk about the process of exhalation, it will going to be lungs, bronchi, windpipe, then nasal passage, and then nostrils. So you can see it over here in these two processes that they are completely opposite to each other. Over here it is ending in the lungs, here it is starting with the lungs, and it is starting with the nostrils and it is ending in the nostrils. So what exactly is happening? It is just the opposite pathway. Now the next thing that we are moving into is the next system, that is the circulatory system, which is actually made up of three major components. That is, first thing is blood, the fluid which is flowing in our body. Then we have blood vessels, means the you can say channels, or you can say the pipe like structures through which the blood is able to flow and inside which the blood is flowing. So they are the blood vessels. Then we have heart. Heart is the, you can say, main component of your circulatory system, because it is the motor or the pump for the whole process to carry forward. Now first of all we will look into the blood. Now blood is basically a fluid that is red in color. That is the very basic important aspect of human beings. Now, why it is red in color? For that we have a specific reason. Now that reason is that it will going to have red colored cells which are known as red blood cells due to the presence of hemoglobin. Now hemoglobin is a red colored pigment which is present in these red cells, red blood cells, which is not only making these particular blood cells red, but also the color of the blood is also red because of this particular pigment only. Just like the case of chlorophyll in case of green plants. So because of the green colored pigment chlorophyll, the plants are getting green color. Similarly over here, the red colored pigment, that is hemoglobin, is resulting into the red colored fluid, that is the blood. Now this blood will going to flow through the blood vessels, and on an average in case of an adult body, it will going to have approximately 5 to 6 liters of blood which will keep on circulating throughout the body, and this way only it will going to complete the requirement of the body. Now if we talk about the content of the blood itself, means the fluid itself is made up of how many components? So there are in total 4 components. One of it is plasma and 3 of it is basically the 3 kinds of blood cells. So plasma is the simple liquid, as you can see it here in case of the yellow color, whereas in this case the first type of cell is the red blood cells, the cells which will going to keep the color of the blood red. On the other hand, they will going to help in transportation of oxygen as well as carbon dioxide. Now the second type of blood cells is the white blood cells. As you can see over here, these purple colored structures over here are basically the white blood cells. Now these cells are mainly responsible for the defense and immunity of our body. That means if our body is able to fight against a particular bacteria, a particular virus, a particular fungus, then protozoan, it is all because of our white blood cells. Third type of blood cells, or you can say the last type of blood cells, is the platelets. Now these particular cells are playing very important role, and as you can see in this particular structure, in this particular figure, that these particular structures over here are representing the platelets. So let's see what exactly is the function of platelets. So they are basically the blood cells which will going to help in the clotting process. Now this clotting process is very important because it will going to reduce the loss of blood in case of any sort of injury. The injury can be small, it can be bigger, but obviously in case of a bigger injury the blood loss is quite high, but clotting factor and platelets collectively help in reducing that blood loss. And in case of small injuries, it will going to almost stop it on its own. Now the blood is responsible for carrying the every important aspect of the body, that is the oxygen, that means the useful products, whereas the food, nutrition, the kinds of medicine that we are taking or any other supplement that we are using, that will be transported by the blood, means it is doing the circulation. So that is why the process is known as circulatory system. Whereas this particular system is responsible for transportation of waste material as well. For example, carbon dioxide or any other sort of waste which can be dissolved in the blood and can be transported and can be moved out of the body. Now the next thing in front of us is basically the blood vessels. So there are in total 3 kinds of blood vessels, that is the arteries, veins and capillaries. So these particular pipe-like structures are of 3 categories. Now out of this, arteries are the ones which will going to carry the blood from heart to the body parts. That means this particular process, this particular structure over here, the blood vessels, are working in a specific direction. In case of artery, the direction it follows is basically from heart to the other parts. Whereas in case of veins, it is going to be completely opposite. It will going to bring back the blood to the heart. So it is opposite. Previously it was from heart to body parts. Now it is from body parts to hearts. Now the next one, that is the capillary. These are basically the exchange site for veins and arteries. As we all know by now that the body consists of a limited amount of blood which is not going to get renewed every minute. Obviously it will be renewed in some duration depending on the usage that you are doing with your body, but it will not going to be renewed every minute. So that means we need to use it again and again. So there will be few amount of exchange sites, and there will be specific sites where the bigger blood vessels cannot reach. As you can see in this picture that this particular artery and this particular vein is basically bigger in size, whereas the capillaries are smaller in size. So they are doing two functions. They are creating the exchange site for blood. On the other hand, these particular structure, that means the capillaries, they are helping in providing the supply, or you can say in collecting the waste from those parts from where we cannot actually take the bigger blood vessels. So that is how these three kinds of blood vessels are important in their role and their function which they are performing. Now we come to the heart. Now this particular structure is very important. It is the main part of the body and it is a muscular organ. So which particular muscle it could be? So now you know this thing already, that there are three kinds of muscle: voluntary, involuntary and cardiac. And over there I have told you that it is the basically cardiac muscle which you will find in case of heart. So this particular structure will going to help in the overall pumping of blood throughout the body with the help of the blood vessels. Now where is it located? It is located in the lungs, and it is made up of 4 chambers or 4 compartments, whereas the upper 2 ones are the atriums or auricle. On the other hand, the lower ones are ventricles. Now the next thing that we have to do, that we will do in the next session, as we are done with the 2 basic systems, 2 important system in a gist, but we will look forward to the next system. There are still few systems left, so we will meet in some other session after this particular session. So till then, keep learning and make sure you keep studying. Okay, bye bye.